Hey everybody, Daniel asks, number 8. I cannot believe it. I think we're at the 2-month mark, which is incredible and awesome. So I appreciate you guys and all the support with the channel and especially with this series. Last video, we had a question and it was an interesting one because I basically asked you guys, what's your opinion or your perception of Americans, whether it be good or bad? And I know that that is a very dangerous question because, well, especially in the media, we're perceived to be a lot of different things. Good, bad, crazy, normal. I mean, it's just a variety of different things. So I was just curious, mainly, what's your specific thoughts per, American that you've ever met? And so now we've got comments to read to see exactly what you guys think about Americans. I'm excited. I've been reading them all week, and there's some really good ones. There's some interesting ones. I'll try to cover as many as I can, as always. And again, I read every single comment, so thank you guys all so much. But let's start with this one. First one's from Simon Teasdale, and it's got the most likes on the video or on the comments. It says, New Zealand opinion on Americans. It varies by person, but you tend to come in 2 types. The soft-spoken and considerate kind, and the loud, brash kind, who can't seem to understand that we don't want to be the USA. On politics, we often talk about foreign politics because ours tend to be boring. I think that's a good thing, by the way. It's probably good that your politics are boring. It's usually the U.S. because you guys treat it like reality TV, which is also fair. But recently, the clown fest that is UK politics has taken over, probably helped by the large UK expat population. So I've seen briefly about what's going on in the UK with the numerous different prime ministers and all the stuff that's going on over there. And I would honestly agree with you that we treat our politics very, reality TV, just nonsense left and right. It's been excessive and a lot. So I'm glad you guys' politics is boring. I think I'd rather it be that way, to be honest with you. But then again, I don't know, different strokes for everybody. So thank you, Simon Teasdale. I really appreciate that. It's a very honest one. Some of us are bad. Some of us are good. Some of us are arrogant. Some of us are cool. So thanks. The next comment's from Michael Healy Otis. I hope I'm saying that right. But it says, regardless of a Kiwi's opinion on Americans as a whole, we all tend to agree that we like the ones who bother to come all the way over here and visit us. If you recognize that we exist and are the kind of place that you want to visit, then we are happy to welcome you to our little slice of paradise and give you the benefit of the doubt that you don't muck it up. No, thanks. I appreciate that, Michael. We definitely recognize you. A lot of Americans, I feel like, do. We've heard great things about New Zealand, especially how beautiful you guys are and how tranquil it is here, and just the way of life is, it's better. And it's like all over our news, like Forbes, I think, even mentions it. And Forbes is a big ranking article website that just talks about all the best places to live in the U.S. and all sorts of other top rankings. So, no, we know about you, and we definitely don't want to muck it up here because this place is beautiful. So thank you, Michael. The next comment is from a Kiwi backyard gardener. It says, America says the rest of us that has socialized healthcare and work-life balance with paid time off, all the normal stuff. Americans think we are all communists and don't have freedoms, just that the belief that American way of life is the best. We love Americans in New Zealand. We can show them that life is not political and all about money, and we are free as well. And that is so true. I agree that life is not all about money and that there's nothing wrong with socialized healthcare and work-life balance and paid time off, and using all those things is amazing. That's something we can definitely agree on. With the U.S., we work so much for what? To die a little bit wealthier? Like, you can't bring it with you. So I appreciate that on that comment. It's so accurate, and I think that if more Americans spent their time reflecting on what they're doing, more of us would be happy to do work-life balance and all these other things over working till we die. So, great comment. Thank you. The next comment is from Chaz Cleghorn. I hope I'm saying your name right. This one's really long, so I'm going to post the whole thing as I read, but I'm only going to read the second half because that's pretty, it's the part that's specific to Americans. But it says, on the whole, I found my American colleagues to be a really nice group of people. Very diverse, not always seeing eye to eye, but once we set a goal as a group, we all worked to achieve it and mostly succeeded in winning work in Australia. I also worked with both the company cost controller and USA Works program scheduler to develop tools that could roll out the other countries around the world. Interesting work and a couple of great people. One was a Trump-supporting good old boy, white guy. The other, a very liberal African-American woman, lawyer, and both living in St. Louis, Missouri. Oh, by the way, when your Texan company CEO comes to town, don't point out that Queensland is actually larger than Texas. You don't get invited to dinner after work. Chaz, love the comment. And it's interesting. So St. Louis, Missouri is about 2 hours from where me and Alyssa lived before we moved here. We lived in Jefferson City, Missouri. But St. Louis, Missouri has a wide variety of people, and so is Kansas City, Missouri, and that's right in the middle of the U.S., both of them. And I feel like most places throughout America are like that. There's a variety of different types of people. The diversity is insane. And then as for the comment about your Texan company CEO coming to town and pointing out that Queensland is bigger, I actually did not know that. Queensland is actually bigger than Texas. That's stunning. That's incredible. Could someone fact check that? I believe you, but Texas is huge. So the fact that if Queensland is actually bigger, that's awesome. I'm assuming you're talking bigger in size, not necessarily population. But either way, that is an interesting fact, and I'm going to have to double check that. But I'm interested. That's cool. Thanks, Chaz. The last one I'm going to read is from Sherry Hill. She says, this should be interesting. Of course it is. I am an American in New Zealand and could never generalize Americans. Just like anywhere, there are good people and there are assholes. If that isn't the realest thing I've heard, I mean, that is spot on. Yes, you are totally right. We're not all bad. There's definitely people who are jerks and assholes everywhere, in every culture, in every background, in every location. So at the end of this question, after looking at all these comments, I think you guys all pretty much agree. There's good and there's bad Americans. And America has good things and it has bad things. Mainly the bad thing is the politics and all the other nonsense that comes with it, which is one of the main reasons we move. One of the reasons. So, no, I appreciate all you guys' comments. It sounds like we got a wrap. Americans aren't all that bad. Not all that great either. So, we got to get off our high horse, yeah? So, the question for this video, and I was talking to a lot of coworkers about this, a lot of colleagues, because they always want to know. They're like, so what kind of slang or phrases are you picking up on from us? Or like, what are some things that you don't say anymore because you moved here? What are some things you've heard us say that you're like, wait a minute, that sounds like something that you say? And it's such an interesting conversation because every single time they ask me, there's something new. There's something new that I've been picking up on that I've started saying, and it's hilarious. Of course, there's the more common ones like sweet as, which I've completely accepted. And then keen. The word keen was never part of my vocabulary until we got here, but I dig it. I like it. I use it a lot. So I guess my question today is, what are some more slang phrases, slang words, or even maybe not so much slang, but just words that you guys use frequently here in New Zealand that you know most people in other countries or around the world don't usually use? There's one that I've said a lot as an American to my colleagues who are South African and also Kiwis. So I say, every time they tell me they're going to do something, I say, you're good, all good, you're good. And they go, I'm good. Like, what? So they started saying that, and they've started saying a couple words here and there just because my accent's different. So they've picked up on the word banana. I know it's a weird word, but whenever I say banana, it's so straightforward, banana. And they always have an accent with it. So now they've been saying banana the same way I do. So it's just one of those great things about our cultures kind of combining, is that we're having this mixture of words that we all use being added into one jumbled up pot. And we're all starting to say things too. So like my colleagues are saying, you're good to me too now. It's pretty funny. It's just subtle things that you pick up on. So question for today, what is some slang or some words or phrases that you guys hear or say often here in New Zealand that maybe aren't so common in other places of the world? And maybe what do they mean? So feel free to explain exactly what they mean, because there's going to be a time probably where you guys comment and I'm going to go, I have no idea what that means. But we'll go with it. So I'm looking forward to your comments again. As always, I appreciate it and appreciate all the support, and we'll see you guys next week. Yeah. Bye, guys.